The Buffalo Bills definitely could have benefited from their presence during the disappointing Week 5 defeat to the Houston Texans. Injured starters Taron Johnson and Khalil Shakir are crucial players for their respective positions, and neither was available when the Bills faced the reigning AFC South champions. Johnson, an all-pro nickel cornerback, is still recovering from a forearm injury he suffered in a Week 2 victory, while Shakir, the team's top wide receiver, injured his ankle in Week 4. The Buffalo Bills have an extra day before their Monday Night Football game against the New York Jets on October 14th, raising hopes that both players may return for this crucial AFC East matchup. Head coach Sean McDermott gave an update on the two injuries late Monday afternoon in Orchard Park. Taron, we'll see how he does this week. I think he's improving a little bit. We'll have to see how the week goes. We'll take it one day at a time, said McDermott. The 8th-year head coach, who has only led the team past the AFC divisional playoff round once, expressed a slightly more optimistic outlook regarding Shakir's condition. Khalil is in a similar situation. I believe he's making progress, but we'll need to see how this week unfolds, McDermott stated. Shakir's absence was particularly evident on Sunday in Houston, as the Bills receivers struggled to gain separation for most of the game, managing only 4 receptions on 18 targets. Shakir recorded at least 3 receptions in each of the first 4 games of the season, making 18 catches on 19 targets for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. Although Shakir did not practice last week, Johnson participated on a limited basis leading up to the game against Houston. Buffalo will not release a new injury report until Thursday. More Bills news: Chris Nowinski wants investigation of Josh Allen concussion evaluation. A prominent advocate for brain safety is seeking further details regarding the recent concussion issue in the NFL. During Sunday's game, Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen hit his head on the ground. To an untrained observer, he appeared to be in some distress. On Sunday night, it was reported that Allen missed 6 total plays, a punt, 4 defensive snaps, and 1 offensive play equating to 2 minutes and 30 seconds of game time, and just over 6 minutes of real time. Was this sufficient time to ensure Allen's well-being? Or was the protocol rushed to get him back into the game at a critical moment when the Bills needed their star player? Chris Nowinski, co-founder of the Concussion Legacy Foundation, expressed concern to CNN about the speed of Allen's clearance. "The more I watch the footage, the more concerned I become," Nowinski said. As Allen fell, he instinctively raised his left arm to protect his head, but after his head hit the ground hard, his arm went limp, and his wrist nearly broke on impact. Nowinski believes that if Allen had been fully aware of his situation, he would have avoided returning to play so quickly. He speculates that Allen may have briefly lost consciousness after the hit, stating, "Ethically, the idea that he was trying to tough it out without being told, 'Hey, you were knocked out and your teammates had to roll you over,' raises serious concerns. This situation needs to be investigated." Nowinski is also critical of the use of smelling salts after Allen left the blue medical tent, calling it a disaster that should never happen. He added, "The presence of smelling salts during a concussion evaluation is unacceptable. And I hope we see a rule change to prevent this in the future. As discussed on PFT Live, both the NFL and teams have a vested interest in getting star players, especially quarterbacks, back on the field quickly." 2 years ago, NFL executive Troy Vincent defended officials' strict enforcement of roughing the passer penalties, citing the importance of keeping top quarterbacks in the game for high ratings. While last year's quarterback injuries didn't impact ratings significantly, the league relies on star players to keep viewers engaged, particularly in comeback scenarios. When backup quarterbacks enter the game, fan interest drops, as seen when Derek Carr left the Saints-Chiefs game. Though concussion evaluations should ideally take place in a quiet environment like the locker room, the league prefers to expedite the process, especially for star players, to avoid lengthy absences. Following Tua Tagovailoa's injury in 2022, the NFL Players Association stressed the difference between box-ticking concussion protocols and actual player healthcare. In Allen's case, His quick return to the game suggests the process may have been more about meeting the minimum concussion protocol requirements.